fortunate to have Mr. Ajay Sahu with us, who has taken the responsibility of conducting the contact classes for this course. So first, I welcome Mr. Sahu and thank you that you have taken this responsibility. Just to introduce Mr. Sahu, he started his career with NTPC as an executive trainee, then in personnel, and then he grew up and had become head of HR in Lanco Group, which is, of course, private sector. So he has experience of private sector as public sector. Plus, also he had a stint in Middle East. So that's international experience also. So with this sort of experience, he is now largely spending his time in providing training, and in fact, what he has is he has his this outfit. And I'm just sharing that with you on the chat. And he is also a trainer for, a teacher for Tata Institute of Social Sciences. He did his MBA from FMS, Faculty of Management Study of Delhi University, right? And you will find the details of his in the in the profile that I would be sharing on the chat with you. So with that, I welcome Mr. Sahu and request you to start off,
All
right?
right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kaushal. Thank you for the marvelous introduction which you have given me. And thank you for the opportunity to take this session and take this class. It's always my privilege, and I always look forward to meeting and interacting with young people. So, apart from this, I am also a faculty for IIM Raipur, and I also am a guest faculty for IIT Roorkee as well as BHU, GIMS, and AIMT. So, yeah, Mr. Kausal said, I started my consulting outfit sometime in 2016. Before that, I was in Dubai. I was the group HR head for two groups, Alzaboi and Genesis. And I was handling Europe, South Africa, China, and Middle East and North Africa. So these were, so I was there for about 4 years, came back to India in 2016. This is Delhi-based firm, and we have operations all over India. But my passion lies in teaching and training. All right, moving on. I would like to, of course, welcome all of you. We are around 19 people out of 43. Not a bad number. So hopefully, in my other classes, next classes, the numbers will increase. One disclaimer is that I do start all my sessions right on time, dot on time. So those who join later may miss out some part of the session. And since there are classes which are happening immediately after this class, so I'll be stopping dot at 11:30. So that's how it goes. And this paper will happen on Saturdays, all Saturdays, because today is 31st of October and we are supposed to finish this paper by 20th of December. That means around, that's exactly 7 Saturdays, no, 8 Saturdays, including today. So we have to complete it in 7 sessions. So barring just one session, we are really tight. So those who want to attend these sessions, I would strongly recommend that you attend all the sessions, keep your Saturdays free. And this session will happen from 10 to 11:30. All right, moving on. I would want each one of you to use your chat box and very, very briefly introduce yourself on the chat in the next 3 minutes. You just your name, and if you are working, then your designation in current organization, and if you are not working, if you have worked before, previous organization, and any exposure to the training function in your previous or current organization. So that will help me to customize and design this particular session for your benefit. So I'll of course see to it that those who are not having any experience of training, they also get something out of it. And the rest who are slightly experienced or more experienced, I would also see to it that they gain something out of it. So in the next 3 minutes, use your chat box and please give your name and where you are working. All right. If you are working, please give me your designation and your company name and any training experience. Okay, Pratik is a training manager with Crown Plaza. That's good. Gurpreet Shpera, former HR manager. Great. Mr. Alok and Mr. Arun, I want these chats to be captured and sent to me after this session.
Yeah, they are being recorded, sir.
They are being recorded. Okay, fine. Okay. Raj is with BHL office in executive director. Okay. Samir, manager placement in corporate relations. IMI. Okay. Information. Arpita is with British Airways. Durga Mehrotra. She's a trainer. She started as a trainer with Bata India. All right. Okay, so you can keep on using the chat and we'll move forward. All right. So this is in brief the course overview for paper 3, which is starting today. Training methods completed. So we have what 7 sessions till.
Upload the file. Right.
Okay, till 20th of December. So the first session today is course overview, and the 12th of December we will have a wrap up of this course. So in between we'll be covering the course. The course content is matching training methods in outcome and various methods, training methods like lecture method, demonstration method, electronic training and its components, business game simulation, programmed instruction, interactive multimedia, case study method, and on-the-job method. So these topics are covered in 2 books, which I believe must have been given to you. The books are, the first book is Training and Development by Dr. B. Janakiram. And the second book, which you must have got, is Every Trainer's Handbook by Devendra Agochia. So the easy part is that all the topics in this particular paper are covered in chapter 6 of both the books. So have you people got the books, the physical books? Yes or no? You have to use your chat box, or you can unmute yourselves, right?
Yes, sir, we have.
And as soon as you speak, please mute yourself so that we don't get the background noise. Okay. Okay, let's start with an equation, right? Look at this equation very carefully and tell me what it means to you. Okay, let me give you a clue. The clue is 47 is the number of participants in this particular paper, particular class?
Is 28 classes, sir?
No. 28 classes. I told you, no, there will be only 7 classes for this paper.
Okay. Then it should be hours, I think. 7 4 hours. No.
Think out of the box. Participant, I told you, is the number of people who are sitting across the screen or sitting on the other side of the screen. This side of the screen, only one person. Make wild guesses. Okay, I'll give you another clue. 47 is the number of people who are there on the other side of the screen. And 58 is my age.
So maybe 28 is the average age of the students or the participants.
Exactly. Very good. Okay. So 28
So this is
the
a
average.
total experience of the group.
Total experience of the group. Okay, very good. Lovely. Okay, so if this is the total experience of the group, why did I put it on the screen for you to see?
Maybe we can write like 47 students with average age of 28 and
Yeah.
including your age. This is the amount of experience that we can get from this training. Maybe we
Exactly.
want to write that.
Very good. So if you want to get around 1400 years of experience, gain from these 1400 years of experience, then what do you have to do?
So listen.
Okay.
We have to share our learnings and
Lovely. So if you just listen, if you are just listening, right? There will be 7 classes. If you are just listening, then you will get at the end of this paper, you will get benefit out of only 58 years of experience. But you speak up, if you share, if you interact, then you have the potential to gain out of 1374 years of experience. So which is better, 58 or 1374?
definitely 1374.
Definitely 1374. So if definitely 1374. So I would strongly recommend that you people speak up, you people share, you people interact, okay, during the session. So don't hold back any clarification or any question you want to ask till the end. You can ask then and there, right? Just unmute yourself, ask the question, then you can mute yourself. All right. Okay. All right. So this is again another disclaimer. I'm not here to help you to pass the examination, right? Not is the operative word. I'm not here to help you pass the examination. That is your job. Passing the examination is your job. You have been given the books. You are supposed to read those books. You will be given other reading material as well. And if you want, you can attend these classes. There is no compulsion. I'm here to basically try and make you better trainers and more proficient T&D professionals. That's my job. I'm not here to make you pass the examination. Passing the examination actually is the easiest part. If you read for the books, you will pass it. Not an issue at all. So, but that will not make you better trainers or more proficient professionals. So, if you want to be better trainers, and so basically, the content of these contact classes will, of course, be based on your syllabus, but it will be beyond your syllabus in the sense I'll be sharing my experiences. I'll be sharing many of the stuff which are not there in the book. So those who decide not to attend these classes, and they ask you what did they miss, you can always go and tell them that yes, you missed something, right? So that's how it is. All right, the course overview. Okay, so your which all papers have already started, guys? You have 4 papers this semester, right?
So we are doing HR strategy.
HR
We have
strategy.
also, yeah, we have also done a class on instructional design.
Okay. And this is your first class for paper 3. What about paper 4? Has it started yet?
So it is the next class today.
Next class today. All right. Okay. So the first column is basically your paper 3, and second column is your paper 4. Right. So the paper 3 is training methods cognitive, and paper 4 is training methods experiential. So under the first paper, which is training methods cognitive, you have training methods like lecture, discussion method, demonstration, case method, business games, in basket method. Similarly, for under paper 4, you have methods like role play. These are all training methods, behavioral modeling, games simulation, lab-based experiential learning, outdoor training, all this, right? So those who have some experience of training in their current or previous organizations, would you like to comment on what are the cognitive methods and what are the experiential methods, and why they are named as such?
So I think cognitive methods are the ones where we process the information in our brains, and we learn by listening to reading, and in experiential we learn by doing.
Okay,
We practice and we end up
sure. Cognitive is something which you learn by listening, and by listening, right? And experience is something which you learn by doing. All right. Anybody else would like to suggest?
So basically in cognitive, we are stimulating the mind to through means of
Stimulating
discussion,
the mind. Yes. Yeah.
and we are actually we are discussing things. We are getting to know more things by discussion and those methods primarily.
Mm-hmm.
And if we talk about experiential, where we are actually involved in the whole process of learning, and we go through the process and learn something new. That is what experiential is all about.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good. Good. So both are correct. In cognitive method, basically you use your brain, right? So you use your brain to understand, whereas in experiential method you learn by doing, right? That's what experiential is. Okay. So here is a definition of cognitive, which I got from the Oxford Dictionary. Cognitive, basically an adjective. It means connected with mental processes of understanding, which means any learning which you do by using your mind and brain. That is cognitive, like in a lecture method, the one which you are listening to right now. You are basically listening, and it is landing on your hearing, and you are processing the information which is coming in, and you are trying to make sense out of it, right? So that's the cognitive. Some examples of cognitive, the use of the word cognitive is a child's cognitive development, when the child makes sense of the world at large, tries to understand. Uh, Cognitive psychology is basically the psychology which deals with the brain. Like perception is part of cognitive psychology. The brain memory is part of cognitive psychology. Some of the sentences which uses cognitive, the word cognitive, are like they are studying the links between cognitive and linguistic development in young children. Basically, how children learn a language by understanding the world around them. Then another use of cognitive is this is both a cognitive and an emotional process where you learn something through affective behavior, which is emotional, and through understanding. All right. The origin of the word is from Latin. Cognate means known, and the verb cognoscia is get to know. So from cognoscia and from cognate, cognitive has come. All right. So can you give me some other words in English language which has come from the Latin root of cognate or cognoscia? Any words which comes to your mind?
Sir, recognition.
Recognition, very good. Recognition comes from cognition. Any other? Okay, let's see some of the words. Incognito. Yeah. The word incognito. Incognito means what? So suppose you go to a party and you are disguised. Disguised.
Hidden.
Not to be disclosed. Yeah.
Correct.
Hidden.
Good. Right. Okay. Recognize is another word. Recognize, recognition. It also comes from cognate. Cognition. Cognizance, taking cognizance of things, right? Cognoscenti. It's a French word, but there is an English word also. Cognoscenti means somebody who knows a lot, right? Prognosis also comes from this word. Diagnosis, right? So agnostic and gnostic. Agnostic is what? Somebody who does not believe in the in God, that God is there, right? Even acknowledge comes from the same root. So now that you know what is cognitive, the word as well as other words which have come. So these are the cognitive skills which uses the brain to understand perception, attention, memory, logical reasoning. They are all cognitive. So any learning method which uses the brain, which uses to understanding, those are cognitive methods. So if you look at the cognitive methods, like lecture basically it uses your listening as well as your brain. Discussion method, it uses your brain, listening as well as speaking, and it also uses your brain for analyzing stuff, because you can't discuss unless you understand and analyze. Demonstration, where the trainer demonstrates something, and the participants would learn from those demonstrations and understand and analyze things to learn stuff. Case method, where you are given a case study and which you read through and try and understand the data which is given in the case, and try and find a solution to the case which is, and of course discuss it. And if you have to make a presentation, that's another skill which comes through cognitive skills. Business games, we will of course deal with each one of them as we go along. Business games also uses your mind, in the sense it places you in a simulated situation where you have to wear the hat of the CEO or the marketing head or the other functional heads, and you try and solve a business related problem and make decisions, and each decision is actually related to the decision of other groups who are playing the game, and that's how it is. You learn decision making through business games. That again is a cognitive method. In basket method is basically it actually mimics the inboxes which you get in a corporate setting, and whatever in a day's work, whatever comes to your inbox, the in basket actually mimics that, and you are supposed to prioritize and take decisions on this. All right. So that is what cognitive is. All right. Now that we know what is cognitive, let me introduce to something which is called Bloom's taxonomy. This is not there in your book, but I thought you must understand this because if you want to create a training program, you must know what the learning objectives of the training is. So unless you know what the learning objectives is, or you set the learning objectives for your participants, you won't be able to design a training program. So basically, Bloom's taxonomy, it originated in the US, where Bloom is actually the name of the person who headed this group, and this group was created by the government of US to set different objectives for the educators, for the students in the US. Like what should be the learning objectives of the students in the schools. So this group, they did the research, did the survey, and came down to three domains in which the educational objectives can be put. And which are the three buckets? The three buckets for learning objectives for the students are cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So cognitive we have already discussed. Affective is basically the emotions. Through the school curricula, the students also should learn emotions. And psychomotor is basically psychomotor is basically experiential, which someone of you has already commented on. So psychomotor is learning the use of your limbs for anything, whether you want to learn how to cycle, or you want to learn how to swim. So those are psychomotor skills, which the schools in the US they teach. Apart from the curriculum, which is academic curriculum, they also teach extracurricular activities through psychomotor. All right, so these are sometimes loosely described as knowing. Cognitive is knowing, that is using your head. Affective is feeling, emotions, which is in normal parlance, it is connected to the heart. And psychomotor is again it's loosely described as doing, which is connected to your hands or the limbs, right? So knowing, feeling, and doing. These are some of the these are the three learning objectives in any learning endeavor. And of course, you use your head, heart, and hands for these learning objectives. Okay, so graphically it looks like this. Three domains of the Bloom's taxonomy are cognition, that is knowledge, affective, that is emotions, psychomotor, which is doing. Okay, so skills in the cognitive domain revolve around knowledge, comprehension, and critical thinking on a particular topic. And there are basically 6 levels in this taxonomy. Moving through the lowest to the highest would be like, suppose you do not know anything about a particular topic. Say for example, those of you who do not have any knowledge of training, or you have not have any experience in this domain. So basically, everything that is being taught here, or everything that you learn from these 2 books which you have got, that you gain knowledge out of it. That's the first level of cognitive domain. The second level of cognitive domain is comprehension. Like you could, the knowledge of cognitive method would be basically to know what cognitive method means, right? The definition of it. You can learn it by rote method. But what we did after that, when we started, it was knowledge. But when we went deeper into what cognitive means, like we went to the root of that word, the Latin root of the word, and we saw some uses of cognitive in sentences. Then we went into some other words which uses the same Latin root, like the words like recognition, agnostic, cognoscenti, incognito. So the word cognitive, it moved from knowledge to comprehension through that exercise. Then going forward, you will be using that word cognitive in your daily life. So you would be more comfortable using that word cognitive in different situations. So that's how you will be applying it. Or when you are talking to your, say, line manager as to how to design a training program, you would be more comfortable using that word, and you can ask your line manager as to what kind of outcome he or she has in mind from the training program. You can ask the line manager if these are the outcomes you want. So you can tell them about the cognitive methods, if it is appropriate method to use, or experiential method, whether that is appropriate to use. So that way you are applying that knowledge and your comprehension. Then analysis. Out of the, suppose you decide on the cognitive method for a particular training design. So which cognitive method would be appropriate? So you are analyzing things, right? So this is the fourth level in cognitive domain. Fifth level is evaluation, like which method to choose, whether you want to choose lecture method, whether you want to choose demonstration method, whether you want to choose case study or business game. So you are evaluating which one to choose. And finally, synthesis. It may be that you want a mix of two or three methods for a particular training program. So the cognitive domain moves through this from the lowest to the highest. Lowest is knowledge, highest is the synthesis, right? So this is how the cognitive domain moves. Coming, yeah. So this is a graphic representation of the cognitive domain in Bloom's taxonomy. The first domain is remember. Like you start with remembering what cognitive means, the definition of it, or the root, Latin root of the word. Then you move to the next level, which is understanding what the facts mean. First is remembering, recognizing, and recalling the facts. Second is understanding what the facts mean. Then you applying the facts, rules, concepts, and ideas. Then you analyze. That's the next level. Breaking down information into component parts. Then you evaluate, judging the value of information and ideas. Create combining parts to make a new whole. When you are deciding on a particular training design, you would want to combine two or three cognitive methods to drive home the learnings to your participants. So remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. Okay, guys, just a question. Are you just listening, or you are taking down notes as well? Yeah?
Sir, both.
Both? All right, good. So it helps actually. taking down notes helps. Although I plan to share my PPTs through your Google Classroom at a later point. But it always helps to take down notes because the PPTs don't have everything. There's a lot which goes on between two slides. If you are able to note down certain stuff, that will be really useful to you. All right. So affective domain, which is basically emotions, teaching emotions to people, right? It again has 5 levels, starting from receiving the training material, to responding, to valuing, to organizing and characterizing. So I won't be dealing going deeper into these affective domain and psychomotor domain. I am introducing you these concepts just to complete the Bloom's taxonomy. And you should know about the Bloom's taxonomy model if you want to be a good trainer. All right. Okay. Now the question is, like training or corporate world is a rational world. So why do we want emotions into this rational world?
So for primarily behavior sessions, we require these understanding of this as well.
Okay. All right. What kind of emotions can be taught?
So compassion.
Okay. All right. Okay. How do you teach compassion?
So by examples and by case studies.
Yeah. Very good. By examples, by case study. Let me give you an example from my own experience. Okay, my personal experience. So that was about what 20 years back. My son is now 22. So when we wanted to teach him empathy and to teach him sympathy, to be good to people, what we did was when he was say 4-year-old, we took him to a orphanage. That was a Mother Teresa's orphanage in Delhi, and we took him there on his birthday, and we told him that you have been uh, celebrating your birthday with your friends here. Let us celebrate your birthday with children your age who cannot celebrate their birthdays because they don't have their parents, right? So we took him there and we celebrated his birthday. I think that was fourth or fifth birthday with the children. Cut the cakes, and he himself fed the other children himself. We spent about half a day there, right? Then we decided that every birthday there would be 2 birthday celebrations, one with his friends, of course, and we'd go to the Mother Teresa's orphanage in the morning and spend the half a day there, right? So basically that was experiential learning, but that was also in the affective domain. We had something to for our child to inculcate the something like empathy, sympathy, to be good to people, to have a heart, basically, right? So the long and short of it is that affective behavior, which is emotions, are trainable, and there are ways it can be done. And mostly, like someone suggested, that it can be done through experiential learning, through demonstration, through behavior modeling. So these are the ways affective behavior can be done. Okay, finally, it is psychomotor domain. give me an example of any outcome which comes from the psychomotor domain.
So whatever sports person are there actually
Yeah.
at the highest level of psychomotor domain.
Exactly. Very good. So the sports, I had suggested swimming as an example of psychomotor domain. Uh, Also, things like say when you are on the shop floor, say you are the car manufacturers shop floor, the things which people do on the shop floor are actually psychomotor. You are on the assembly line. So basically, your job is to say in a particular station uh, so in the assembly line in a particular station. Your one person job could be only to screw in a few screws to the body of the car. So and you have to be perfect where to put it and how much to tighten the screws so that it doesn't come off. So all those things. So those are psychomotor domains, and it can be taught, right? So why is it not called only motor? Why is it called psychomotor? Any idea?
So because half of it is in our mind as well.
Yeah. Half of it is the mind. So it's not just a mechanical thing which you are doing. You are doing things which your brain also controls. Like when you are swimming, it's not just that you are using your legs and your hands. Even your brain controls the movement, and you also think through how to go about it. When you are cycling, it's not just your leg which is pushing the pedals and your hands which are controlling the handle, but your eyes are looking at the road. You are also gauging the distance between you and any jaywalker or car coming from the other direction. Then you decide whether you are how to avoid an obstacle, whether you want to go to the left, right. So it's basically both. The brain is involved and your limbs are involved. That's why it's called psychomotor. All right. So now that we have the this one under our belt, the word cognitive as well as the cognitive domain in the Bloom's taxonomy, let's come to the overview of the whole course. So today we'll be looking at the whole course, what it means. So these are the topics which we are going to cover. Matching training methods and outcome, like which method to choose, and if you want certain outcomes from a particular training program, what method will give that outcome better than any other method. Then we will be talking about the various cognitive methods which are used in training. We'll be talking about lecture method, demonstration method, electronic training and its components, business games, simulation, programmed instruction, interactive multimedia, case study method, and on-the-job training method. Right. So each one we would be talking about. All right. So what I would suggest and I would request to all of you is that those who have some experience of training, even if you don't have any experience, but you do have experience of methods like lecture method, because all of you have studied in schools, colleges, so you know what a lecture is, you know what a case study is. So do share your views and the advantages, disadvantages of each method, and where such a method is or can be used, right? So I want you people to speak up, right? Okay. All right. So the first topic which you will be covering in this particular paper is matching training methods and outcome, right? So anybody would like to say anything about it? What is an outcome of a particular uh, training program? What do we mean by outcome?
So what we intend to achieve by that training program.
What we intend to achieve by that training program. Okay. So
And the participants will be able to do something.
Okay.
So whether
the
training,
yeah.
Sir, whether training objectives has been achieved or not.
Okay. So what could be training objectives? Give me an example.
So whatever objectives are there actually will be able to, and the outcomes are what they are able to do now. So that is the basic difference between outcome and objectives.
Okay. Who fixes those objectives?
So objectives are fixed by the trainer primarily, or the requirement that is there. I would say maybe in the office or in the organization. And if you talk about the outcomes, that is something which is depends upon the participants. So how much they have actually understood from those sessions, that is what will define the outcomes which comes out.
Okay. Any other views? Who fixes the objectives? Is it the trainer who fixes the objective or somebody else?
So training objectives are basically the gap between what the participants already know and what are we trying to achieve. Basically, what we do in training need analysis.
Okay. Anybody else? Who fixes the objectives?
Sir, it could be the organization as well who fixes the training objectives in tandem with the trainer.
All right. Okay. I'll go with that. See, your training is basically a solution, right, to a problem. Training is basically a solution to the problem. It is not the solution, right? You must keep in mind. It is not the solution, but it is one of the solutions to a problem, right? So let me give you an example of a FMCG company, right? So there's a FMCG company, say a Unilever, right, or Hindustan Lever, right? So the sales manager of the company calls the training manager that say it's a Mumbai region. So the Mumbai region's sales manager calls the training manager and says, my sales are down and I want you to do a training program for my salespeople, right? My sales officers. Can you please do it? And I want it to be done in the next 1 month, right? Okay. Now, if you are the sales manager, what would you do? Sorry, if you are the training manager, what will you do? What would you do? You would jump at the idea and start designing a training program for the sales officers? Yes or no?
So we will design an intervention first. We'll understand if the requirement actually meets the on-ground requirement or not. And then we'll see if there is any change required. Then we'll again get back to the manager and talk to him.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? You are on the right track. Anybody else would like to refine this?
So we will try to understand the objectives which are desired to be obtained from this training program.
Okay. The sales manager is very clear. He says, my sales are down. I want you to train my people. That's it. That's what he told the training manager. So what would the training manager do?
More, he would like to analyze whether it's communication, whether it is the other aspects of training. He needs to zero down on different aspects.
Okay, all right. So what is the problem?
Probably.
What is the problem
So probably.
statement? Yeah, probably.
So they can divide it into the 4 principle to design whether it's a product related thing that they have to work towards, process, people's training. So that can be one way.
Yeah, exactly. Very
So
good.
TNA.
Yeah, yeah. Training need analysis. TNA.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. If the training manager jumps into designing a training program at the behest of the sales manager, then he is more of a restaurant waiter rather than a training manager. What does a restaurant waiter do? You would go and order some food from a restaurant. What would the waiter do?
Right. So you go and order for the food and he delivers the same to you.
He delivers. All right. Without asking any questions. Right?
Right.
He's just an order taker. Right? You order
Correct.
some food. He goes to the chef, gives him your requirement. The chef prepares the food and you deliver it on the table. Right? Okay. So you have to ask yourself whether the training manager is a restaurant waiter or he is not, she is not, right? So training manager is not a waiter, right? That when you become training officers or training managers, you have to be very, very clear in your mind that you are not there to take orders from your line manager. You need to convince yourself that the problem which the line manager is facing, training is the solution. So unless you are convinced that training is the solution, don't go ahead and jump at the idea of designing a training program for that particular problem. Business problems have many solutions, and training is only one of the solutions. That is not the solution, right? That is not the only solution, right? So this problem, which the business problem, which the sales manager in Mumbai is facing, right, is a business problem. And in his mind, he thinks that it is the training is a solution, but he's not the expert. You are the expert, right? As training manager, you are the expert, and your opinion should matter rather than the sales manager telling you to create a training program. Now, what could be the other solutions to the problem which this sales manager is facing? What could be the reason? Is it only because the salespeople are not trained enough to deliver or perform, or it could be something else?
So it could be the leadership qualities or the leadership abilities of the manager himself as well.
Yes. So the manager may require some training interventions rather than the salespeople. Okay, that could be one.
Exactly.
Second, what could be other solutions or the reasons for the salespeople not performing?
So they're not properly motivated enough.
They are not properly motivated enough. Very good. This could be another reason. So in that case, training won't do, right? In the first case also, training for the sales force will not do. In the second case also, the training won't do, right? What could
Right,
be
sir.
any other reason for drop in the sales?
So the manager who wants to give the training,
Mhm.
and people who wants to take the training. There might be the people who are actually not very well about not be knowing very well about the subject, right? Means a new product, suppose launch of a new product. So what are all the features of that project? That subject training has to be given by the manager.
Very good.
Or the
So,
manager
so,
also.
so possibly either the people do not know about the product, or even if they know about the product, there could be in that market, there could be another product from a competitor, which is better, which is cheaper, right? So your salespeople do not know about that product. They do not know how to compare their own product. They may know everything about their own product. They may not know about the competitor's product, right? Which could be better, which could be better quality-wise, which could be cheaper, right? So that could be the issue, right? It's not something which the salesperson is lacking behavioral, right? Okay.
Competitive age has to be taught to them.
Correct.
Because a new product, whenever it is launched,
Yeah.
there will be many competitors, as you said.
Yeah.
That competitive age, where we should means performing and not performing, on that part I'm telling, that where should we put more effort so that our product is will be performing better than the competitor's product. So that competitive edge means what should be the manager should give training on that part, where we where when we give any suppose any training, so that that customers also understand that this product how it is means more how it is better than the other product, how it is
Right.
competitively means better than the other product.
Great. Okay. So you identified 4 reasons as to why the sales could be going down. What could be other reasons why the sales could be going down?
There could be a change in the market demand.
Exactly. There could be a change in the market demand.
Like during the pandemic, there was a huge shift from in this educational sector.
Yeah.
So
Great.
in that case, yes, we need to. I mean, that is one part where need analysis and also demand.
Right. So if the demand is not there, if there is a change in demand, no matter what you do, you may train them for years together, still they won't be able to do it because there is no demand, right? Okay. So that could be the 5th region, right? So even if the training manager designs the most robust training program, still it may not work, right? Okay.
We have to adapt the environment and the current trend of the market, what actually market needs, and how to make the people more literate about the product, or what actually we want to give the people in the market.
All right. So the long and short of it is, when the training manager, the sales manager came to the training manager and demanded or suggested that she should design a training program for his sales officers, right? What is it that the training manager should have done?
He should have analyzed the training needs, and as to whether there is a real reason for him to train, or is there something else that is affecting the downfall in the sales.
Exactly. Suppose as a training manager, she has not done that part, right? She has gone ahead and created a training program, and she has taken the whole lot of say 100 salespeople through this program for a month, right? And the training program has become a success. Everybody liked that training program, and then at the end of the year, the sales graph has plummeted, right? It's like a like what they say, the operation is successful, but the patient died, right? So in that case, what happens to the training manager?
he I mean failed. In that case, the overhead costs have increased, and though he has been a success with his training, the outcome has not been achieved. I mean, the outcome used. I mean, we wanted the training. The organization wanted the training for the outcome to be sales. I mean, increase in sales, and that was a failure. So even though the training was a success, the outcome was not achieved.
Right. So who gains or loses out of this?
So, the training is not a success if the outcome is not achieved.
Exactly.
So what the trainer should have done is first sat down and done a analysis of the objectives and how he can or she can, you know, uh, pitch in. So
Right.
once if that is not done, then how can the training be the objective or the training be successful?
Right. So for the training to be successful, have you heard about training evaluation framework by Kirkpatrick? Have you heard about the name Kirkpatrick? Donald Kirkpatrick? Anybody? No. All right. So this is the guy who.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You. Who said yes? Would you like to tell us what Kirkpatrick model of training evaluation is? You said you do not know yes sir, or you know yes sir? All right. Okay. So
I've heard about it, but I'm not able to recollect it as of now.
Not in this. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we did learn about it in our trainings.
Yeah.
I do not recall everything, but one of the things on your slide says this, which we were taught. It was formative assessment. I mean, the types of assessment, and it also covers feedback. I don't recall all those things, but I do have those slides with me.
Okay. All right.
So yes, we got.
Yeah. Basically, Kirkpatrick model says that whenever you do a training, it has to be evaluated. Unless it is evaluated, because training is it's not an event, right? आपने कर लिया और सब लोग खुश हैं, so training is a success. No, it's not that. Training is done for a particular purpose. If that purpose is not solved, then training is not successful. All trainings have to give results and give concrete results, right, for the organization. It's not training just for the sake of training or just for the person who is being trained. It is for a particular organization because the organization is putting in the money, right? Every training costs. So the organization is putting in the money. The organization has an entitlement to gain out of the training program, not only the participants. So the person who pays the piper must call the tune. So if the person has paid the money, the organization has paid the money, it must get the results out of a training program. If it does not, then the training program is not a success. So this is the basic premise on which the training evaluation of Kirkpatrick starts, that the results take primacy over everything else. But that is the last part of the training evaluation. The first part of the training evaluation is called reaction. Reaction is the reaction of the participants, whether they like the program or not. That's the affective part which the trainer can gauge during a training session. And if it is a face-to-face training program, then one can actually see how bored or excited the students are. If it is a say online session, you can gauge the reaction by finding out how many people are actually participating in the discussion and how many people are interacting and volunteering to speak up. So that's the reaction part. Second is the knowledge part. to what extent learning, that's called learning. So the first is reaction, second is learning. To what extent the people have been able to learn the concepts, they have been able to remember some of the concepts which they have learned. So how does one do that? Through maybe a quiz during the training program, or a quiz a little later. Suppose I want to know what you people have learned in this particular session. What I can do is in the next session, I'll have a small quiz on whatever has been discussed in this session. And if you are able to recall and reproduce, so the possibly the learning, at least of the concepts, has taken place. Right. So that's the second phase of training evaluation. Third phase of training evaluation is to what extent the learning which you have done in the training program, it has been transferred to your real life situation, whether it is your personal life or corporate life. How does it transfer to the work situation? So that's the behavior. How you are able to use your learning in your behavior. That's the third part, and that the trainer normally cannot do, because if the trainer is from outside, it's a third party trainer, an outsider, he or she won't be able to do that, because it would require observation, it would require interview with the supervisor, it would require interview with the person himself or herself as to how the training has made his or her job easier. And it needs to be done after a time gap, maybe after a month or a couple of months, that needs to be done. That's the third stage in the Kirkpatrick model of training evaluation. The first was reaction, second was learning, third is behavior. Fourth is result. Right. So result is uh, what the reason why the training took place in the first place. It was for a particular objective, or for a particular reason, for giving particular results. If that has been met, and in the example which we took, which is the sales is going down, so if the training manager has done his or her job properly and has done the analysis well, and has come to the conclusion that yes, training is the solution to this problem, and has designed a robust training program, taken the participants to those training program, and that has increased the sales, then it's the training program is successful, right? Because it is addressing the result for which the training program was conceived in the first place, right? So you should not judge the success of a training program by what the participants are telling you through the smiley sheet. It's called a smiley sheet. The what the training feedback form which you get is called a smiley sheet. So it only tells that much, that how the participants have reacted to what you have taken them through. But it ignores the remaining three stages of training evaluation, which is learning, behavior, and the result. So don't judge a training program only by the smiley sheet, or by the reaction. You have to do all the four to tell yourself that yes, this program has been successful. All right. So any questions so far, guys? Any question?
Sir, you told na that why that failure,
Yeah.
even after giving the training to the people. So
Yeah.
one thing, just I'll add one thing.
Yeah.
During my experience,
Hmm.
that whenever we choose the task forces, I mean the salespeople,
Mhm.
we have to analyze the salespeople first, whether they will be able to take up the task. Secondly, we
Take up
have
the,
to
sorry.
read their mindset.
Okay.
we have to read the mindset of that person. Suppose, like say he is in a medicine sector, right?
Yeah.
Or say he's into say some communication sector, like like Airtel, Idea, or Hutch, something like that. So whenever something is launched or something is told to them, and earlier say they have an experience of say 4 or 5 years, what they think at that point of time is their mindset is already like I know the things.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, we can choose from the interdiscipline. Like we can choose a person who is selling burger pits. We can take him and give a proper training, and then we can increase the, because launch of say I will tell you one transition, like change of Hutch to Vodafone,
Yeah.
right? So that time the whole task force they were taken from the FMCG sectors, from the other say medicine sectors or something like that, and they have chosen then I asked, sir, none of them are the yeah, experienced person. Then the manager told me that see, if we give we take the same person, he has a mindset, he will not work as per what we are teaching. So here I will add one thing, that unlearning and learning, both the things are to be added to the task force, even they are from the same disciplinary or from the other disciplinary. I don't know whether I am right or wrong, or I have interrupted, but
No, no, you are
I
right. You are
feel.
right. In fact, let me give you a very small anecdote from my own experience. I was working for a company, like I had mentioned that I was a group HR head of Al at that time in Dubai. We had a factory in Ras Al Khaimah, and that factory was a battery manufacturing factory, right? Once I had gone to that factory and I was talking to the CEO, and he was a Britisher, he was an Englishman, and I asked him, "How do we, since you have come from the UK, how do you pick up and recruit people on the shop floor? Uh, like here, we go for ITIs and for particular disciplines in the ITI. How do you do that? Do you have similar kind of recruitment strategy? He said, okay, what we do there is we don't go by the education. Basically, they can be from the school or 8th pass, 5th pass, whatever. What we do is we look at the job which they would be doing on the shop floor, right? So if the job requires the person to pick up a heavy object from and shift it from one place to the other, then even if he's a graduate, it don't matter. It won't make any sense to us. That person should be able-bodied, right? We look for that. Or if the particular job requires dexterous hand movement, right, in a particular place. Whether the person is ITI or non-ITI, it doesn't make sense. All that we require is the manual dexterity of that person, right? So we mimic and simulate the activity which the person would be doing actually on the shop floor. And if he or she is able to do that and consistently, then we pick him up. The educational qualification doesn't matter, right? So similar is with your your exam. In fact, I know of companies who do not go to the MBA colleges or engineering colleges. Some of them actually go to art schools, mind you, art schools to or design schools to pick up their people. Like for example, I mean, going forward, the world is changing, and going forward, there would be certain jobs for which there will not be any particular institute who would be training the students in those jobs. Say for example, Amazon. Amazon, when I mean, they have started experimenting delivery of their packages through drones, right? So now, if that becomes a norm, that all the e-commerce companies, they start delivering through drones rather than through human delivery boys, then what happens? Just imagine, like there would be, say, Amazon for in Delhi NCR, they would be delivering, say, around 50,000 packages per day, right? Add to that, say, Flipkart and Snapdeal. So all put together, maybe 100,000 deliveries per day. Now, if a drone delivers, say, 100 packages per day, right, in 100 destinations, then you can imagine how many drones will be there in the Delhi skies, right, in, say, 15 years or 20 years time when this happens. Now, for managing these drones, you require a drone manager. You require a drone traffic controller, right? So now, if you hire an engineer or an MBA for this position, they would be like fish out of water. Now, who do you think could fit into this position, drone traffic manager, in 15 years' time? That's a question, guys. A role which does not exist now, drone traffic manager. What kind of person would fit into this role, and where would you look for this kind of a person?
Sir, somebody who's experienced in leading a team and
team.
Yeah.
So the job is very
drones are non-humans.
So the job is very similar to what an air traffic controller does.
Okay.
Air traffic controller, basically what it does is manages the flight paths of aircraft.
Yeah. Okay. Right. One could be an air traffic controller. Who else?
I'll tell you.
Who's very good in computer games. Who knows? How
Exactly.
Sir, I'll add one thing. I'll add one thing. The ex-pilots, actually who knows more of a navigation in the air rather than the other people. They are more experienced about this, how to control the air vehicles, right? So though one of them has told air traffic controllers, I totally agree with him, but this will be in agreement with both of them. If it is really drone, then a proper pilot and a proper air traffic controller should be there to manage it in a very good way. That is that is my point.
I would just add to what you're saying. If you were to futuristically imagine this, an Amazon logistics center will become like a logistic airport, where you have drones flying in and out, doing delivery and coming back. So it will require an airport setup.
Lovely.
At a smaller scale or different scale, but an airport.
So somebody actually suggested that we would go to the gaming parlor, right? I would actually hire the best gamer in the world for this position. Yeah, right. So you have to think out of the box, guys. You have to think out of the box.
This is also one sort of simulation, actually. Means the guys who are playing, they are also simulating the
exactly.
Fine.
Exactly. So going forward, HR is going to change drastically. It has already started changing. So going forward, it'll. So if HR is changing, since training is part of HR, it's going to change. So you have to think out of the box, and you not only have to think out of the box, you have to actually create new boxes to think in. Right? These are two different things. thinking out of the box is 20th century. Now 21st century, you have to actually create new boxes to think in. So this is actually creating new box to think in, right? Just think about it. All right. Okay, guys.
Managing change and creating new boxes.
Right. Very good. Okay. All right. So in the next 10 minutes, we would be covering the remaining methods. Just an overview, right? So basically, all you need to tell me is where this method can be used. What are the advantages and disadvantages of each method, right? Okay. Here you go. Lecture method. Where it is used, can be used.
Schools and colleges.
Schools and colleges. Okay. All right. What kind of audience and what is the involvement of the participants in the
where we actually don't want much involvement of the participants. We want it to be a one-way communication.
One-way communication.
That is lecture method, and we want to control the audience as well.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Sir, I beg to differ in this point, because nowadays there has been interactive lecture methods, not just the lecturer, imparting lectures, but there has been a new trend going on wherein, there has been interactive sessions nowadays.
Yeah. But mostly it is one to many. If you have a big audience, then you cannot possibly adopt a method like discussion method or case study method, like if there are say 200 people. Right? So it's the only way you can do it is lecture method. All right. Okay. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? What are the advantages of lecture method?
So many people can be covered.
Many people can be covered at the same time. Okay. Any other advantage?
Another advantage would be if. Yeah, go on.
No. Lady first.
Okay. Right.
Another advantage is if you're not really keen on a two-way communication, if you have to just impart what you have to, and there's restriction if you want to restrict too much, time, and you just want to give out the information that you want to.
Sure. So the lot of knowledge can be imparted in very short period of time, right? Because it's a one-way communication.
It is cost effective also.
It's a cost effective. Very good.
Because lot of people we can engage in 1 year.
Exactly.
And it is very easy to organize also.
Yeah, very easy to. Okay. What are the disadvantages?
Not an ideal training method for skill-based training.
Yeah.
Not promote individual learning.
Yeah.
Actually, it is a passive learning.
It's a very passive method of learning.
Sir, the trainer has to be subject matter expert.
Yeah, trainer has to be subject matter expert. Okay.
And means lack of concentration
among the participants, because they are not involved.
Sir, over dependence on the lecturer, because whatever he will teach, the group will take it that way only.
Right.
So there will be no learning from the peers.
Right. So
it's not possible for the lecturer to provide individual feedback.
Instead of gaining out of 1, 3, 7, 4 years of experience, you gain only 58 years of experience, right? That's what.
The method is monotonous also. With time, it becomes monotonous.
Very true. So first statement becomes correct here.
All right, good. Okay, demonstration method. All right. So anybody who knows what demonstration method is?
The way they teach in medical schools, for example.
Yeah. The way they teach in medical schools, like they take you to a demonstration room. They will cut open a dead body and show you what is inside, right? Here you can see on the picture how to brush your teeth, right? So this is a demonstration for say very small children, and how the brush should go from the bottom of the teeth to the top, and how it should be done. And once they have seen it being done, they would do it themselves, right? So that's the demonstration method, and they would be given actually once this demonstration happened, they will actually be given toothbrush, new toothbrush, and toothpaste, and they will be encouraged to do it themselves the way they have seen the demonstration. All right. Okay. What is e-training or the electronic training?
The same what we are doing now.
Yeah, right.
The same what we are doing now.
So any training which uses any digital method, electronic gadget, is e-learning. That's it, electronic training. So,
There are a lot
simple
of
as that. I'm sorry, come again.
There are a lot of learning-based platforms as well, which helps you to train.
Yeah, that's right. So this is it's simple. Like whenever you are using electronic gadgets, whether it is a computer, internet, or iPad, your mobile phone. Any electronic gadget which you use for learning is electronic learning, right? Okay, business games. Anybody has participated in any business game? What is a business game? This is actually a business game which is on your screen. It's a business game called Chanakya. This is done by IMA, All India Management Association. This is student management games basically, and they would do it every year. So, any idea what is a business game?
So maybe
Business,
it's sort of a competition that is held to actually simulate the real time scenarios,
exactly,
and where they come up with solutions.
Right. So it's basically a simulation, a business simulation. Say for example, you are given say India as a market, and there are 4 companies which are competing to grab a pie of this market. Say for example, say luxury sedan, right? So the whole participants will be divided into 4 groups, and they would actually be competing to grab a pie of this luxury sedan market. And they have goals, they have plans, they have to create their own strategy, they have to take decisions where to look at their plant, or they don't want a plant, they want to set up a factory to assemble stuff which are coming through semi-knockdown condition from abroad. So various and what should be your equity base, what should be your debt base. So after all this, you have to take a decision, a group decision, and the games are played across hours or days, and all the decisions, whatever decision you take, it will affect the market because of the decisions which are taken by other teams, right? So it's earlier it used to be a manual game. Now it has become a computer-based game. And the computers, there are algorithms which actually gives out the outcome based on the decisions taken by each group or each subgroup, and also the market dynamics. So, and at the end of the game, whosoever has captured the highest market share wins. So through this, basically, a lot of things are actually learned: goal setting, planning, strategy making, decision making, all this. All right. Okay. Okay. Simulation. This is basically you are looking at a simulator, as a flight simulator. And in a flight simulator, what happens is that it simulates the flight deck, and when you are flying an airplane, and you can you can do things which during actual flight you are supposed to do, and there are simulators for airplanes. There are simulators for power plant. So one learns things in a safe environment, basically. If you are a novice and you are put on the actual airplane, you may just crash, or it endangers you. Whereas in a simulator, you can experiment many stuff without actually harming yourself. Right. Programmed instruction is basically what you do. Anybody of you who has taken the MOOCs, massive online open classes, you would know that the entire module course would be divided into modules, and you can move from module to module only after you have completed the first each module. And after each module there is a test, and once you pass test, then only you can unlock the second module, else you won't be able to go there. So this is called programmed instruction. Interactive multimedia is similar to electronic, but here instead of dumb learner, you can actually interact and with the course content, which is again online. It will be electronic, and the course, the material is both text as well as pictures and videos, and you can interact with that. All right, case study method. You must have done the case study method during your school, college days, or those who are working, they would know what a case study is. Like you are given it's like a essay. It's like a paper which you study, and a lot of data is available, and you solve the problem which is there in that case study. And sometimes the same case study can be given into different groups, and they come up with various solutions, right? On-the-job training is off-the-job training is where there is a classroom, and the training is imparted in a classroom, whereas on-the-job training is you are there on the job, and during the job only you learn stuff, right? That's on the job. Okay, so what I'll do is we'll see you next week, next Saturday, same time, 10 to 11:30. I will be sending your training feedback URL to your WhatsApp group. So please click on that, and there will be a Google form for giving your training feedback regarding today's session. So I would request and encourage each one of you to give your feedback, so that we would be able to design this program better. All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Nice session, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Nice
you, sir.
session.
Thank you for
Thanks.
session.
Thank you.